Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Invin. Today I am bringing you guys a Is It Worth Playing on Tribes of Midgard. Now a lot of people have been moving over to this game since it's been released in the past couple of weeks. I'm going to be giving you guys an overview of whether this game is good or not and is it worth playing. So starting off here with the game modes that the game actually includes, you've obviously got your survival mode, which is kind of like your endless mode. You see how long you can go along, how long you can last without your seed of life tree dying, which is the main thing that you have to defend in every mode that you play. And that one's kind of an endless mode. And then you have what is called Saga mode, which is essentially the story missions. And these kind of have objectives where you have to kill bosses, you have to rebuild a bridge to get across to the boss arena, and then you can leave these instances once you've killed one of the Jotuns, or when you've finally finished and killed the boss. You can leave these and you get rewards based on how long you last in each of these modes, how many bosses you kill, etc., and how well overall that you actually do. That gives you a certain amount of progress towards your overall player level, and it gives you some in-game currency which you can use to buy items from the shop. Again, it's worth noting that there is a premium currency in this game which you can buy with real life money, but everything that you want to get in the game in terms of items can be bought within the game itself. There is only cosmetics available for those in-game currencies, and again, those premium currencies can be earned through the leveling up system as well, so it's kind of all obtainable through playing the game. Now, like I briefly mentioned there, the aim of the game is to defend the Seed of Life tree, which is at the middle of your settlement or your base. You have 4 NPCs within the base. One is a potion maker and a trap maker. One is a tinkerer, which does resources and tools. You then have an armorer who does shields and armor, and a blacksmith who does the weapons, so the axes, the hammers, the bows, and the swords. Each of these NPCs can be leveled up for a certain amount of souls per level, and you can also build defenses such as gates and towers on each side of your settlement, again costing souls and this time materials too. Now you can also get up to 3 outpost buildings that spawn somewhere near the main settlement, and these buildings offer a different bonus based on which one is built. So there's a quarry which offers stone and ore resources such as iron and stone blocks. You then have a farm which does leather, yarn, and other animal related products, and then obviously you have a woodcutting lumberyard type area as well, which gives you logs, sticks, all that kind of good stuff. They're really good to build early on if you are looking to progress further into the game quickly, but they do cost quite a lot to build. Now, in terms of whether the game is solo or co-op, it has options for both. Majority of the time I have been playing this, I've played it solo, and I've found it quite engaging. There's a lot to do, but it is difficult to time manage in this game. It's clearly designed for multiple players because there's a lot going on. Playing solo is fine if it's your type of genre, you're really into the game. You can find ways of speedrunning it or fine-tuning your pathways to maybe do things in a certain order, which makes it quicker for you, which I've really enjoyed doing. But if you're someone who's more of a casual player, kind of want to dip in and out of it, then I would definitely recommend playing this with friends because it's going to be a ton easier and a lot more fun as well. I've really enjoyed the co-op experiences I have had in this game so far. They've been really beneficial, and actually playing with a team has been really fun too. Now, each evening when you are defending your settlement, these hell things spawn in and they will attack your Seed of Life, which is what you must defend. So obviously upgrading your NPCs increases their attack on these, as these do help you defend the base. But obviously you need to upgrade your own weapons and armor and potions, etc., as you go along through the game as well. And this is for each zone that you go into. You bypass through different zones to collect materials, and then you will need higher level gear to be able to take on the monsters and enemies in those zones as well. So it's kind of like a small tiered roguelike progression system where each game you start with nothing and then work your way up. Now, there is starter kits that you can unlock by leveling up, and these are in the form of an armor set with the sword and shield, or you can get tools or bows and so on. There is a few more that you can unlock through the game, but generally nothing too OP, which is a little bit of a shame. I would have liked to see something, especially when you've put in a lot of hours, a lot of runs like I have now. I would like to see myself starting with maybe some faster tools or some better weapons so that I can progress a little bit quicker and get past those starting areas. Even though each seed is randomly generated, there is a lot of similarities between them, and once you kind of fine-tune what you want to do in the game, it's fairly easy to run through. However, there is several different classes within the game that you can go ahead and play. These classes are the Ranger, the Warrior, the Guardian, the Seer, the Hunter, the Berserker, the Sentinel, and the Warden. And as you can see on the screen here, I've unlocked the Guardian already, and to unlock each of these other classes, you can see that there's a challenge on screen and it states what you must do in order to unlock these. And some of them, like this Seer here, use the Bifrost to extract 10 times or to exit 10 worlds in Saga mode. It's kind of a long time, so getting that unlocked should be pretty good, and it's quite cool that there is a progression system there where you're going through to unlock these different classes in order to be able to play it a slightly different way with slightly different perks and things, which is a very nice addition to the progression system of this game. The game overall is based around Norse mythology and is very colourful with very impactful combat system, which feels very fluid and significant throughout the game. And this is complemented by the weapon style and art style of the game, kind of how the game actually plays out itself, fits in with the Norse mythology mythology, and the combat really complements this. One thing that is quite difficult is when you get further into the game, each day that goes past, the hell things that spawn during the night to attack your base do actually become a lot more powerful, and this can be quite hard to take on when you are playing solo. And as well, you've got to attack the Jotuns, which are these giants that come and attack the base. They've each got a different affinity, so it could be thunder, it could be darkness, and these will come and attack your base. Certain weapons do better damage against them, so for example, a lightning based weapon will do better against a darkness enemy, and a darkness weapon will do better against a lightning based enemy. And there is a few other ones like heat and cold as well in there, and as well as this, some of the zones have those resistances as well, so you're going to have to make sure that your armor and your potions are on point for those zones if you do want to be venturing into them. It gives a nice element of progression throughout the entire game, and each time you play it is slightly different, which gives a new feeling to it. Even though it is a similar setting and you're progressing towards the same end goal, ultimately it does feel fairly fresh each time, which is very nice for a replayability factor. In terms of overall whether this game is worth playing, I would say it's definitely worth a go, particularly if you've got friends that already play it or friends that are willing to buy it with you, because it's a ton of fun in co-op. There is a matchmaking system through the game, so you can go ahead and play with random people online as well, which I have found to be very fun so far in the couple of games that I have played with that. The only slight trouble is obviously if the connection's not great, the combat can feel a little bit disjointed, but if you're joining one with a low ping server, you can actually look through the servers and see which one's got the lowest ping. Then it feels really cool to play with lots of other people, and you can have up to 10 players on the same map, which is a ton of fun. So that is definitely a lot of fun. But if you can get your friends to play co-op with you, you know, 2-3 other people, it's going to be a lot more fun, and you'll definitely really enjoy this game. If you kind of like games like Torchlight, or you're wanting to play a few more games like an action RPG, maybe Path of Exile, something along those lines, where it's kind of like a hack and slash but progression system through it, this game is like that, but it's got a roguelike feature where every run is new, so your overall progression, you can add cosmetics and you can add starting kits, but generally you're starting from fresh each time, so it is that roguelike, depending where things spawn, what you encounter first, as to what progression path you can actually take. You can have your ideal path, but ultimately it is up to the game and the spawn of what you get as to where you will actually progress first. But it is a lot of fun, and it does give a fresh new sense to each world that you play. It does become quite difficult to manage later on into the game in solo if you've not fine-tuned it. Personally, I quite like this feature because it means you can fine-tune your skills and your gameplay and kind of like your routes to run and kind of what you want to aim for early on in terms of getting the game progression going so that you can survive these later runs in solo. But if you're someone that wants to play this more casually, as I say, I do recommend co-op, and then the solo does get a little bit hard, which is a shame because I would prefer it to be more rewarding in solo. Maybe a chance to turn down the spawn rates of some of the mobs, or maybe increase your damage because there's less players attacking, that kind of thing, or maybe even get more souls from kills and harvesting as well, so that it'd be more manageable during the game. Any one of those features would be really good, but currently it is quite hard to go ahead and solo most of the game, so you can fine-tune. Like I say, I quite enjoy the challenge. I've been working out some good methods of doing it, and that's been a lot of fun for me. But if you are a more casual player, this might not appeal to you, so do recommend playing co-op for some of those more casual people that want to just hop in and try this game out. It's definitely worth trying, particularly if it does go on sale on either Steam or Epic Games, or on your relative platforms, so PlayStation Store or Xbox Live Marketplace. It is a ton of fun. It is on all of the different platforms available at the moment as well, so you can play it on whichever platform you do play from, which is really nice, and it is a really good ton of fun, something a little bit different, and something kind of that mixes in that Norse mythology with a nice combat system and a very colourful and impactful gameplay. Now, hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video, found it useful, found the review helpful to kind of see what the game's about, if you'd like to play it or not. If you have enjoyed today's video, please do make sure you leave a like on it down below, as it really does help me and my channel out. And if you are new to the channel here and you'd like to see more content, we're going to be covering New World when it releases, and we've got a ton of new stuff coming for New World very soon, so stay tuned for that. As well as that, we're going to be covering tons of other games on the run up to that. We're going to be covering Battlefield, we're going to be covering Call of Duty, so make sure you stay tuned to the channel, subscribe with notification bells on for all of that good stuff. And other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, take care and peace.